The clock is now ticking for airline travelers to get an ID which will allow you to pass through airport security. It's called Real ID.
Where are we flying? Well, I'm flying to New Orleans today since I'm a Real ID. Nice. I'll stay here.
Be your Real ID self.
Conceived in response to the 9/11 attacks after it was discovered that hijackers could easily obtain state driver's licenses, Congress decided there needed to be a universal security standard for state identity documents. Now, a Real ID is distinguished by a star on the upper right side of your driver's license, which means you've met the criteria for proving your identity.
As I understand it, you're going to be needing it to fly here domestically soon.
Today, 24 years after Congress mandated Real ID, 48% of the population still don't have it.
Do you have one?
I don't have one, but I know I need to get one.
Do you have yours yet?
I do not.
The deadline for Real ID has been pushed back several times over the years, but now Homeland Security says May 7th is the final deadline for Real ID.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
2 years ago, a congressional subcommittee issued this dire prediction when it revealed that 48% of the population had no Real ID, a figure which has not changed today.
May 7th, 2025, we're going to encounter utter mayhem at our airports.
And what is behind that nightmare air travel prediction?
If you do not have a Real ID, you will not be able to fly in the United States unless you happen to have a passport, a global entry card, or some other sort of government-issued ID that is approved for air travel.
Real ID goes beyond airport security, allowing you access to include federal buildings, courts, military installations, and nuclear power plants. But it's the airport component that most of us are going to be dealing with. Homeland Security requirements for Real ID include documentation which shows your full legal name, your date of birth, your social security number, and 2 proofs of your principal address when you apply for your updated driver's license.
As I understand it, it's been a little difficult for people to get appointments, so I haven't prioritized it. So I think that can be a little bit of a challenge.
Some states do have backlogs for getting a license, so it's best to check and find out how soon you can get your Real ID driver's license.
But Real ID is not the permanent answer. They're already looking at biometrics as well as facial recognition, and all of that is going to be stored in the cloud. Working for you, I'm consumer investigator Steve Sprazier.